Hey everyone, welcome back. Before we dive into today's strange and maybe a little gross question, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on our next videos with even crazier topics. Now let's get into it. What happens if you eat mold? Imagine this, you're making a sandwich, you grab a slice of bread, and only after taking a bite do you notice a fuzzy green spot staring back at you. Or maybe you find some old cheese in the fridge with blue patches on it, and you wonder, is it dangerous or just unpleasant? The truth is, mold is everywhere. It's a type of fungus, and while some molds are completely harmless or even helpful, like the ones used to make blue cheese, others can produce toxins that could make you very sick. Your body's reaction depends on the type of mold, how much you ate, and your overall health. For most healthy people, eating a tiny accidental bite of moldy bread won't usually cause serious harm. Your stomach acid is pretty strong, and it can destroy many kinds of fungal spores. But that doesn't mean you should ignore it. Some molds produce mycotoxins, poisonous compounds that can survive digestion and cause nausea, vomiting, or worse if consumed in large amounts. So what really happens inside your body when moldy food slips past your lips? Let's break it down. Once mold enters your stomach, the first line of defense is your powerful stomach acid. For many harmless molds, this acid destroys the spores before they can do any damage. That's why in a lot of cases, people who accidentally eat a small piece of moldy bread or fruit don't feel anything at all. Maybe just a little disgust, but physically, they're fine. But here's the catch, not all molds are harmless. Some produce those dangerous chemicals called mycotoxins. These toxins can resist stomach acid and move into your intestines. From there, they can enter your bloodstream and start causing trouble. Even small amounts of certain mycotoxins can lead to stomach cramps, nausea, and diarrhea. In more severe cases, especially if you eat a lot, they can damage your liver, kidneys, and even your immune system. And for people with mold allergies or asthma, eating moldy food could trigger reactions like itching, swelling, or even difficulty breathing. That's why experts always recommend, if you see mold, don't risk it. Just throw the food away. But what about those foods that are supposed to be moldy, like blue cheese, brie, or soy sauce? Surprisingly, those molds are carefully grown and safe to eat. The difference is that they're controlled, edible strains, not the random fuzzy stuff growing on your bread in the kitchen. Let's imagine for a moment that someone eats a big slice of moldy bread. Not just a small spot, but a whole piece covered in fuzzy green and black growth. What exactly happens inside their body? First, as soon as the moldy food enters the mouth, the person might notice a strange taste or musty smell. That's because mold releases chemicals called volatile organic compounds, which give it that classic moldy flavor. Next, once swallowed, the stomach gets to work. Stomach acid, with a pH as low as 1.5, destroys many types of mold spores. But if the bread is full of toxin-producing molds, some of those dangerous chemicals survive. Within a few hours, the person might start feeling symptoms. A nausea, the body's way of trying to reject the toxins. A stomach cramps, as the digestive system struggles to deal with the irritants. A diarrhea, the intestines try to flush everything out quickly before the toxins can be absorbed. If a large dose of mycotoxins makes it into the bloodstream, the effects can become much more serious. The liver, which filters toxins, begins to work overtime. In rare but extreme cases, this could even lead to liver damage or suppressed immunity. And here's something even more concerning. Some molds, like Aspergillus flavus, produce a toxin called aflatoxin, which is one of the most powerful natural carcinogens known. Long-term exposure, even in small amounts, can increase the risk of liver cancer. The good news? For most people, Accidentally eating a small piece of mold won't cause anything more than an upset stomach. But deliberately eating large amounts is extremely dangerous and never recommended. So, what should you actually do if you realize you've just eaten something moldy? First, don't panic. In most cases, a small accidental bite won't seriously harm you. The body is usually able to deal with minor amounts of mold. But here are some smart steps you can take. 1. Stop eating immediately. Don't continue the meal if you notice mold. 2. Rinse your mouth with clean water to remove any lingering mold particles. 3. Drink fluids. Water helps your body flush toxins more quickly. 4. Monitor your symptoms. If you feel fine, it's likely no harm was done. But if you notice nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, or dizziness, it's best to see a doctor. Not all foods with mold are equally risky. Some molds are harmless, while others are toxic. For example, soft foods like bread, cheese, yogurt, and jam. Mold can spread deep inside, even where you can't see it. These should always be thrown away. Hard foods like carrots, firm cheese, or cabbage. Sometimes you can safely cut away the moldy part with a wide margin. Certain cheeses like blue cheese are made with edible mold, but that's a safe, controlled type that doesn't produce toxins. The rule of thumb: when in doubt, throw it out. Mold doesn't just affect taste and smell. It can carry invisible dangers. In the end, eating mold is a strange mix of harmless and risky. A tiny bite by accident? Most likely, nothing will happen except a bad taste in your mouth. But eating a lot, or the wrong kind, can be dangerous because of mycotoxins that damage your health over time. That's why food safety experts always warn: if you see mold on soft foods, don't try to scrape it off. Just throw it away. Your health is worth more than saving a slice of bread. At the same time, it's good to remember that not all mold is bad. Without mold, we wouldn't have penicillin, one of the most important antibiotics in history. We wouldn't enjoy blue cheese or soy sauce. Mold, like many things in nature, can be both friend and enemy. It all depends on the context. So the next time you find something fuzzy in your fridge, you'll know exactly what's happening and why it's smarter to stay safe. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, so you won't miss our next video with even stranger and more fascinating what if questions.